I want to show you how to mail or email a InDesign document or an InDesign project to your instructor so that that can be put in your file and for later evaluation. So let's say we are in InDesign now and I'm completed a project here. I put sample on here because this is something you're going to work on down the road, but I want you to see a large document and how you would actually send it. You wouldn't have sample all over stuff because I want you to make your own, not use my version. But notice we're in InDesign. Up here you can see we're in InDesign, and I've named this the Venice History Layout Sample, and the .indd up here, that's the indication of InDesign. And so this is a completed document. And as you will see in your layout when you get to this project 45, the first page is vacant. It's a right page. And then the second page, number 2 and 3, are a left page and a right page, and then the last page is a left page. And these page things will come to you when you see more information on this layout. But I've got 4 pages here, a blank one that will work into the layout of the magazine, and then these 3 that are the pages for the InDesign project that will become part of, let's say, this magazine. And you'll learn about setting type and the margins and that sort of thing. So I just wanted you to see this. Now, this would be a complete document. Let's stay here with pages 2 and 3. And I've already named it, but I would say File, Save As, and then I've given it a name, Venice History Layout Sample. And it'll be INDD because I'm in InDesign, and so it automatically picks that. I'm going to save it to the desktop. And if you look over here, you'll see that I've already have saved it. There's an InDesign logo, and it is the Venice History Layout Sample. And so and the format I'm using is the InDesign, in this case CS5 working document. And I'm using document versus template because that's a printing thing that we don't need to go with yet. But document is where I'm saving this as just a regular document. When I hit save, it's going to go to the desktop as Venice History, and there it is right there. Now, I would do that if I were you, just to put this in your files that you save at home so that you have some backup. But now you have to, I'm going to cancel that and say, now you're going to have to send the instructor via the instructor's email that has been given you over the paperwork coming off the website, this project. And so there's a different way we go about that. We go File, and we say Export. Now there's 2 exports. Export for Dreamweaver or EPUB. That's for, don't go there as far as export because that's sending it directly to a layout for a website. We're not doing that. We're doing more of a print or just a general save. So I'm going to go Export. And when you hit Export, then a little box comes up, and it's got the same name on there, but it's now, because I'm going to choose a PDF, I'm going to send it to the desktop so that I can organize and arrange this and put it where I want it. But my choice here is Adobe Interactive, PDF Interactive, or Print, or EPS, or any of these others, JPEGs. I want Adobe PDF Print because I'm saving this to go to a printer, not to a website or anything else electronic. And so I choose Print Particular, and it will show up there. Now, the name of this, I want you to change the name by the time you're getting ready to send this or export this by email to the instructor. You need to change everything but the PDF. And so I'm going to select all of that and make it blue and delete it. And then put in the labeling that we use for this class. And the labeling starts with 1400. That's the class that this is. An underscore, not a dash, but an underscore. And then X, a capital X and a 01. That's the section that you're in. X means online class at UVU. So that capital X, and you're in section 01, you might be in 02, you might be in 03, you might be in 04. Depends on how many sections we have, but you'll know that by the registration of the class you're in. You'll be in X01. Let's use that as an example for this. Then another underscore, and the number of the project. In this case, it is 45. You look at your project list, the History of Venice InDesign layout is project 45. I don't need the word Venice. I don't need the word uh, history. I just want 45 so that all the instructors will go by their list and say, yep, there's 45, there's 46, there's 47. Now, the last thing is another underscore, and then your last name. Say your last name is Smith. Then your last name, as you're registered for the class, should you have gotten married, and you can use the name that's the legal one on the class roster. And so that's the last thing then. If there are two Smiths in the class, the instructor may let you know back, would you use Smith M versus Smith D so that we can get that squared away. But generally, you'll be the only one. And so now that label is as the class is going to be, and when I go here and say it's going to go to the PDF print, it's going to go to the desktop. And when I hit save, and I'm going to, this says cancel or replace. I already have one over there. I'm going to just say replace it just to show you what I'm doing. And here it's giving you information about some of the stuff that's going to happen with this PDF. And it's making all of the pages are going to be involved here, 1 through 4. Remember, the first one is blank. And the options are, don't worry about this stuff because it's the default, and you have to go in and change things if you really want to change it. You just want to make sure it's all pages in 1 through 4, or however many pages you're working with. And when you hit export, then you'll get this last little box here, and it says there's things to link and the URLs. Again, don't worry here about this. This is something that as you send this off to the printer to actually print this, you're going to have to be a little more definitive on what you want the printer to receive. This will come to you in a full-fledged InDesign class to teach you how to get the information, all the information, links, photos, and information back to the printer. In this case, just hit OK. Now, notice over here I have off here on my desktop, you can see the edge of it. I've got 1400 X01 45 Smith PDF. That is what you're going to send to me by way of or send to the instructor by way of an email. For example, if I go to my email system here, I've got, I'll say new, and I want this to be sent to whoever the instructor is on the new item. Here comes the name or the address that you are sending to your instructor. And then in the subjects, you want to put that, the name, the label we've used, the 1400 underscore X01 underscore 45 underscore Smith. Now, in this case, you can put the .pdf there. It's going to be that anyway, but there it is, and saying what is coming through. In the attachments box, you open that, and then off of here on the desktop, you can see I'm going to click on my identified project, and I'm going to bring it in and set it here and put it in the box. Here it is as all of that information plus the PDF. It's a PDF file logo here, and you can see it's just under 1 megabyte. That's easy enough to send. We're compressing it down, and so it's almost a megabyte. It's 900 kilobytes, but if you go to 1,000 kilobytes, that's 1 megabyte. And so that's what I'm going to see, or what the instructor is going to see when it shows up on his email. Now you can come down here and leave a little note, dear instructor, here's my project 45. You could put 2 or 3 attachments in here. You could put 45, 46, and 47 if you wanted to. Don't overload it, but that message you see here comes 45. And then when you hit send this to that email address that you're given to your instructor, then it's complete. Now, another thing that I would show you or have you remember, let's see, let's go back here. I remember over here on the desktop, I saved this as the first document I completed, the Venice history. Then I changed it to a PDF, and I have, eventually I changed this name here, so that's what we'll send to. Now, if I have a place where I can, let's see, let's go finding a place to show Okay, watch what happens when I take this piece that you've made here, the PDF file with the correct title on it. Now I'm going to go over to this file and I'm going to drag it and store it in that file. This is what I see or the instructor sees when he opens your file on his computer at home after the transfer has been made. Here's what it looks like. 1400 underscore x01 underscore 45 underscore Smith PDF. Now, when I see this or when the instructor sees this on his computer or puts it in a file with your name on it, and they want to look at it as a quick reference, if I go here, notice that it has two arrows, one active, one inactive. If I hit the active arrow, it shows me I saw the first page. There was nothing on it. Remember, nothing on that first page. The second page, there it is, the second page. There's the third page. There's the fourth page. So very quickly in this PDF format, the instructor can see that you've got all 4 pages, the blank one and the 3 that work, in place. And they can very quickly go over this as needs be. And then you can open it. If you click on it, it will open in the PDF, in Acrobat, as a PDF file. Now notice it opens, in my case, very large at 241%. So I'm going to come down here and say, show me that at like 75%. And here's the first page, and it's sliders, and it shows me each page in order as I slide this down. It depends on how many pages there are, but it gives me a very accurate read, without the samples on, of course, of the pages that we'll be making in this project. And so that's what the instructor can go to as a final reference, is to look at your work with all of the type and all the images and all the stuff on it in place. And so that's where you're going to go with sending an InDesign file via email, compressed down so that it's easy to send, easy to open, and easy for the instructor to see what you're working on.